Hey, welcome back to the channel. It is a planting day and that is so exciting. We are having some cold tolerant vegetables putting into the garden today, and we are also going to have some cold tolerant flowers that we're going to put into the garden today as well. And so we're going to get started back here with these raised beds. I'm going to have carrots and onions in the first one. I'm going to have onions in the second one. The third and the fourth ones already have things in them. They have strawberries and rhubarb. And then the last one is going to be potatoes. I don't know that I'm going to do the potatoes today. I may need to take a look at them because I'm actually not sure if they've sprouted yet. So I will go take a look at those and we will decide if we're going to do potatoes today or not. But let's get started on the first things. I have weeded all of these beds and I have put a nice layer of compost on the top so they're nice and freshened. The edges of this bed, the next one, and one side of this third one all have peas in it growing. Sweet peas and snap peas and sugar peas. If you want to go back and watch my video of where I got those planted, I will link that down below so that you can see that. So I got to stay away from the edges, but they don't need too much room. We're going to put a cattle panel to make an arch type of situation. That's what they're going to grow up on, but they don't need too much space. So this is going to be my red onion patch. These look beautiful. Let me show you. Gorgeous. Absolutely lovely. And so I am actually going to alternate between onions, and then right next to the onions I'm going to do a row of carrots. I was watching a video from Whispering Willow Farm. I will mention her down below so you can go watch her channel too. And she plants her onions and her carrots right next to each other, and it basically creates this healthy competition where it's pushing the onion up out of the ground the way it's supposed to grow, and it's pushing the carrot down into the ground where it's supposed to grow. So I'm planning on giving it a shot. It's not going to hurt anything. So I'm probably going to do like 3 rows of these onions. We'll see how many I can get fit in there, and then I will plant my carrots next to it. Wow. Wow. Oh goodness gracious. Look at this. Wow, amazing, incredible. The closer you put onions together, the smaller the onion will be. So you kind of always assume that you want, oh, the biggest onion possible, right? Well, maybe you don't. You maybe just need a medium-sized onion. So I'm gonna have this first row spread out pretty good, so these can be kind of big onions and have space for big onions. But then the next row that I do, I'm going to put them closer together so that they'll create some smaller onions. So I ended up with 4 rows, and I have a row that's single, a row that's bunched together, a row that's single, and a row that's bunched together. And I have kind of this space, let me show you so you can see better. I have kind of this extra space in the middle, and I didn't do that on purpose, but I didn't have enough onions to make another row. And I remembered that I have a winter sowing jug over there that has lettuce already growing in it. I'm just gonna slide the lettuce right in here. It'll go great with these crocks. So now I have my carrots. They are a rainbow carrot from MI Gardener, and I'm gonna sprinkle them in between each of these onion rows. Now these are funny because they're so small that you can't possibly plant them with the right spacing, and so you end up putting, you know, 150 seeds in one row, and then I'll come back and thin them later when they start sprouting up. Or sometimes it's fun to let them grow close together, and then they make little carrots, and they're just like bite-sized carrots. That's fun too. All right, it's a little windy, so I gotta make sure to cover these up. I'm just, you could make a trench and do it that way for sure. I kind of, whoops, just got a splinter, youch. I like to just spread them around, put some soil over top, and they're good to go. They're fun. This is fun to get this open. Remember, we made these winter sowing jugs several months ago. Yay! Look at that. We've got some greens. This is an artisan blend of, ooh, they're very thirsty, of lettuce. So I'm gonna separate them all out. They need a nice little drink. There's probably 15 or 20 in there, so that's fun. This one is going to be my yellow onions, and this is a sad situation. This is all I have from seed for my Walla Walla onions. I don't know why. I reseeded them 3 times. I don't know what the problem was. So I cheated and bought some onion sets from Home Depot, which is not my favorite way to grow things, but it'll work. So I'm gonna pull out at least what I can. I should have at least a row, and they didn't grow very good either. Definitely not as good as the red ones for sure, but I'll get what I can out of it. In theory, onions that you grow from seed will create larger onions than when you grow these from set. See, so I buried them into the ground just like so, and I have just the teeniest, tiniest little peak popping up. Just so, because that's about to start growing some green on it. Hopefully sooner rather than later would be fantastic, but we'll see how it goes. To the house to get some water for the new things I just planted. Our water spigot down here near the chicken coop and near the garden is not currently running right now. We've got to get that fixed, and we will at some point. And then I also grabbed the bag of potatoes. I am correct in that they are not really sprouting. There are a few sprouts, but not very many. And so I just Googled, can you plant even though they haven't sprouted? And the consensus is yes, you can. It will just take them longer. So I'm fine with that. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the ground so that I can call it done and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And then we are going to plant the cold tolerant flowers right here in this plastic, and I will talk to you about that after we get these potatoes done. 5 pounds of russet potatoes, which in theory should create 25 pounds of potatoes. Aaron makes fun of me every year. You're gonna plant potatoes again? Because for some reason, I never really get a lot of potatoes, and I don't know why. But here I am trying again, because this was only $3.50 at the garden store. Why would I not try? So something is better than nothing. So I'm gonna plant 2 different trenches. I may shoot for 3. I'm actually probably gonna shoot for 3 trenches. And then put a potato in each one. You can cut them up so that you have different eyes for the potatoes, or you can set it right down, the whole potato right down in. Since these are not sprouting and the eyes are not quite as noticeable yet, I'm just gonna put them right down in. Here we go. Making a trench that's about 6 inches deep to put my potatoes in. I should also mention that generally speaking, small potatoes can be planted whole, and so can large potatoes, but generally speaking, you cut up the larger potatoes so that you can have more plants. But you know what? I've never had success, well, I should say, I've never had good success with potatoes before, so we're just gonna do it totally different than what I've ever done. That just makes sense to me. So here are my yellow onions. I have 5 rows of them total. 4 of them are the sets and 1 of them are my seeds. Just to show you this is my strawberry bed that has grown quite a bit since last year. They are Cabot strawberries. And this is my rhubarb bed. They are looking great. I'm excited about that. I love rhubarb. And here is 3 trenches of potatoes. And you know, we'll just see how they do. So let's talk about this situation that's behind me for a minute and a couple observations I've made. So my goal in having these right here, these white pipes, was to make a low tunnel for these. And the theory of a low tunnel is that you're letting in light so it's warmer in there, but it's also protecting it at night when it's dipping to temperatures, okay? But it was a very slow spring, and now all of a sudden it's a very fast spring. This coming week, there are no freezing temperatures at night at all. So I don't think that these need to be covered with plastic at all. I will maybe come back and do it if we're going to have several nights of freezing temperatures. I'll come back and protect them. Or if we have another week of really cold temperatures, which we probably will. But it was really weird this year. It was very, very cold, and then all of a sudden it's really warm. It doesn't normally work like that. It's normally a little bit more of a back and forth than it has been. So I really haven't planted these out as early as I wanted to. I could have done them about a week earlier than I am now, but this past weekend was Easter. I didn't have time last week to do it. But even 10 days ago, we had a night that dipped to the low 20s. It was 21 at night. And that's a little bit too cold for them. And so it was easier for me to just keep them in the greenhouse, and then I bring them in at night when I needed to. So now they're gonna come out without any protection because they don't need it. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. On this side, right here, the part that you can't see, I've already planted 50 ranunculus plants. They do not like the heat, so they have not, I see a few little sprouts, but I don't really know if that's ranunculus sprouts or if that's weeds. So we will see how it goes. But right now we're going to plant up our snapdragons, our bells of Ireland, and our lisianthus and get these out. Phew, 180 snaps planted. I think I had only 10 bells of Ireland and then about a dozen lisianthus. Whew, all planted. I had a few snaps left over, and so I think I'm gonna try to sell those on the roadside stand, and if they don't sell, I'll just put them in some pots or something. I forgot how much planting out makes my back sore, or planting out making my back sore is a new thing that I haven't experienced before. Either way, it was tiring, but it's a good tiring. It felt so good to get those out in the garden, get another project off the list, and I'm really excited to see those grow. So I'm going to go back out again in a little while after dinner and give them a good watering. And just as a general rule of thumb, the middle of the afternoon is not the best time to plant and to water, but that's when I had time, and so that's when I did it. It's better to do it than to not do it. Can you hear that fly? I'm sure you probably can. I'm sorry. I'm sitting in my room. I'm sitting in my room where I can look out the window and see my garden right there. Erin likes to say that I can sit in this chair and see my kingdom that I've created. So I can take a look, at everything and make sure everything's okay. Anyways, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for following along if you got all the way at the end. Great for you. Thank you for being here. I hope that you found some inspiration today. I hope that you found something that was helpful and useful for you, and that you'd like to create some more or plant some more. But until I see you next time, keep growing.